Hi everybody, today we're going to work on our first Photoshop project. I call it the About Me project. It's a collage of things that are your favorite things. In class we took a profile picture of you and today I'm going to show you how to fill that with black, how to turn it into a silhouette, and how to create a collage by cutting things from their background. I'm working from home today, so I don't have access to our files, but this tutorial will be found in the server under Digital Photo Lessons About Me. So if you're working at school and you want to see this on paper, that's fine, it's there too. Okay, I'm going to minus that for a second. I've decided I'm going to create a Photoshop project with this dog. So the process is the same. What I need you to do is as you open a picture in Photoshop, you just drag it down to the Photoshop icon. You should see your toolbar. If you're not seeing your tools, go to Window, Tools, and get them out. And you also need to make sure you're seeing layers. And over here, you'll see a thumbnail of your photo, and usually there's a little padlock. And what I would suggest is double click on that little lock, say OK when Photoshop gives you a prompt, and unlock your background layer. Okay, we are going to cut this background out. I'm going to use the quick selection tool, and you'll get a circle that's got a little plus in it. I'm going to use the bracket keys right next to the letter P, like Paul, and on the keyboard. So if you look at you hit the right arrow, it makes it bigger, the right bracket, the left bracket makes it smaller, you'll see the little plus in there. If you're not seeing it plus, you may want to check up here on the top toolbar, but that just means as I click it, it's going to add to my selection. So I've pretty much clicked on the background and gotten most of it selected, but there's this little patch of fur here that I don't want to be cut out. So I'm going to use my bracket keys again, make that smaller, and I'm going to hold the Option key, the Alt or Option key, and I'm going to just kind of click on that part. I can check my lines with the Q button. Q is the quick mask mode, which is right here, and it looks like I've got him pretty good. Missing a little bit of the silver. I'm not going to worry about that too much because I don't think I'm going to see it. Alright, since I've started with the background, I can just hit the delete and it's going to get rid of my background. Again, make sure your padlock is unlocked so it'll let you do it. I'm going to hit delete. Alright, so I've got the marching ants going around the edge, and this checkerboard means it's transparent, so there's nothing there. Now I want to fill the dog, but right now I'm just selected the background, so I have to switch it around. I'm going to go Select, Inverse. Now my marching ants are just around the dog, and I'm going to go to Edit, Fill, and you want to make sure that the contents are black. You don't want to fill it with a pattern, you don't want to fill it with anything else. We'll just say black and say OK, and there he is. To deselect your ants, you hit Command D, like dog. We're going to deselect. Alright, we want to add some color to the background. Let's add a new layer. So down at the bottom of the Layers palette, you'll see a little piece of paper icon that says Create New Layer. Or you could go to Layer, New Layer. It's the same thing. But this is the shortcut, this little piece of paper, and it'll just give you a blank layer. Nothing looks like it's happened here, but you can tell over on the Layers palette. Let's choose a color to put on his background. So double click on this color square right here, and you can get into the color gradient and choose whatever you like. I think a nice red would be good. Now in order to fill it, I'm just going to, usually the gradient tool is right here, but I'm looking for my paint bucket. The gradient tool is the top tool, so if you see something that looks like it's going from dark to light, just hold the mouse down and you'll see the paint bucket. Just going to click on that, and I can't see my dog because he's hiding underneath that layer, but I'm just going to drag him up. So I'm going to take that layer 0 and drag it up, and you'll see these kind of like a solid line right here. That means I know I'm at the top. So let go, and there he is. Okay, so now I need to get some things in there. I'm just going to click on the Move tool just so I don't keep painting anything. I'm going to go down to my internet, and I'm going to type in dog toy. And let's see what we get. Go to do an image search. And here's something that looks pretty good. I usually try to view the image so I get a bigger image of it. This one's still pretty small. I need to grab it, and the best way to do that without a right click on my mouse is hold the Control button and click on the mouse and then say Save Image As. I'm going to call it dog toy so I can find it. And I'm going to put it on the desktop. If your window looks like this and it's kind of collapsed, you can still see where it's going, but I like to expand the view because then it's in this column here you'll see the options of where to save this. And I want to make sure it's on the desktop. Another option is when we're at school, when we see shared, you'll see Mac, and that's our Mac server. So you could click on that too. Now I'm just going to hit save, and it'll be out on the desktop. Close this up. And the best thing for me to do is take that picture, and instead of dragging it here, because it'll just come in as a little white square, I want to cut it out. So I'm going to open it in its own window, and you can see up here these are tabs. So there's our dog, and there's the little toy. I want to zoom in on this, so hold Command and hit plus. Command plus zooms in, Command minus zooms out, and Command 0 brings it in full screen. All right, just like what we did before, you get the quick selection tool, and clicking around the edges of the thing. Now, over here, we got the little padlock that I was talking about. Just double click on it and say OK, hit delete. All right, I'm going to hit Command D to deselect the ants. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this off the bar. I'm just going to pull that down. So that way I can see both of them at the same time. I'm going to use my move tool, the arrow with the cross. I'm just going to drag this over there. All right, so now here's my dog toy. If I want to make it bigger or smaller, I hit Command T to transform the size. And I can hold my Shift, and I always start drag one of the corners. If you hold Shift, it keeps it proportional. So I'm dragging it out. When I get it the size I want, I let go of the mouse, and then I let go of Shift. Oops, I think I got to do it the other way. Let go of the mouse, then let go of Shift. Yeah, I guess I was still holding on. All right, apply the transformation. Yes, you usually can hit this little check mark or hit apply. There you go. Then you can move it around. As you notice, here's my little dog toy. It's on its own layer. If I want to move the dog, I have to be on his layer. Oh, it looks like he's got a little edging to him. I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that move because I don't really want to move it. Okay, let's go grab something else and pull it in here. So let's see. I don't need to save it. I'm going to grab, oh, I got a little dog bone. Same thing. Drag it into Photoshop. Get the quick selection tool. Click on the edges. Unlock it. Say OK. Hit delete. Oh, I still got a little edge down here I don't want. Just going to click on those, hit delete. Command D will deselect the ants. Pull it off the bar. Use your move tool. Move it in. There it is. Got a little dog bone. Command T will transform the size. Make that a little smaller. Okay, then hit the check mark or hit the enter key, return key. I can move it where I want to. All right, so I just continue filling it in with other things that I like. Now at a certain point we got to add his name. So let's get a text box out. I'm just going to draw a text box. Your fonts are here. Your size, you can have thin or thick or bold or regular. Here's your sizes of font. I want it pretty big. Now I see what's happened here. I've typed it and it's still in the same color. So it also shows my color here. I'm just going to double click on it and choose black. I highlighted it first so that it would take that selection. All right. If we feel like, well, that's not too big, I want it even bigger than 72. 72 is as big as it's going to be here, but I can type in a new number. So let's say I'm going to type in 100. Okay, maybe that's just perfect. I can use my move tool and I can move that around. I can move it down here. I can put it where I want to. If it's too big or too small, I can change that again. Now, once I've set that check mark or said it's okay, I'm done typing, if I want to come back and fix it again, just double click on this little T. In the layers palette, you'll see the name. Just double click on the T. And now I can get in there and say, oh, I misspelled that. That should be Roger instead of Rover or whatever. And so, or if I want to make the size bigger or smaller, I can change it there too. When you're done, you hit the check mark and that's it. So I want you to finish. Have you finished this project? Add in your your items, write your name, and then save it, and you will be done. And when you go to save, you go File, Save As. And because I always do the save as so I figure out where it's going, because a lot of times it'll save to the last place someone else maybe saved something to. We don't want to put it in their folder. If you're in doubt, put it on the desktop, but go to Shared, go to Mac, and you have to wait for it to load, and you'll see Mac, HPHS, High School, Journalism. So there's kind of a string, and you keep going until you see Digital Photo, and then you'll find your files. All right. If you have any questions, holler at me, but let's see, we'll just cancel that because I've already saved it. So anyway, I think you're going to be just fine. Enjoy this project.